What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ahmad Rashad, as I am Chemical founder and CEO. I know this is a face that you haven't seen in a while, and this is more for my 76 subscribers. Boom, boom, boom. So I guess you're wondering about where I've been. But anyways, I'm here to tell you real quick about where I've been the last year and a half. I know I only did about 4 videos, and then I kind of just vanished from the face of the earth. But I'm going to tell you what's been going on in my life, where I've been, and where I am now. All right, let's get into it. All right, so pretty much, I know that I only did the 4 videos, and I kind of just went ghost. And, at the time I did the 4 videos, my first video did almost 2,000 views, which for me, that's a lot because I never did 2,000 views on anything in my life. So I think that's super dope, especially on YouTube. So at this point right now, I have 76 subscribers, which is, super dope. I'm still excited about it off of 4 videos. I think that's dope. So where have I been? So I was working, as most of us are working people. I was a general manager at a restaurant and lounge, which is also kind of like nightclub type of thing. And so I did that for the past year and a half. Extremely stressful, extremely stressful. So it took a lot of my time and resources and focus to the point where I wasn't able to really do a lot of different things like I wanted to, as far as like, the videos and the candle making and different things like that. So that's kind of what's taking most of my time. So since then, after the year and a half, as of right now, I've currently left that position. Why did I leave? Like I said, it was just too stressful. And I think for me, it just became a real unhealthy and toxic environment for me to be working in. That's never an environment that I really seen for myself or I really wanted for myself. But, at the same time, we all gotta, pay bills. We gotta work and we gotta do those, do the things that we may not necessarily want to do to get to where we want to go, I guess you could say. So that was kind of my focus, and that was kind of just where I was at. That was kind of the headspace that I was in at the time. It's like, okay, you got to make money, you got to pay bills, you got to do this, you got to do that. And, also trying to like pay down debt and different things like that, because who doesn't have debt these days, college and so that's what I was doing. But like I said, recently I've left that job just because it was just too much for me. It had been overwhelming for a substantial amount of time. And I didn't think that I was getting, the proper rest I needed, the proper focus that I needed for my mental health, which is, if you know me, that is a big deal for me. Mental health is like one of the most important things. So for me, it was like, okay, it's better for me to just cut my losses while I can and then run, right? So that's pretty much what I did. But in that, there were still some highlights. So let's talk about the highlights real quick. So some of the highlights was I did do about 3 or 4 pop-ups at my job. I think I did Mother's Day, Valentine's Day weekend. Yeah, Mother's Day, and I think I did Father's Day as well. So for those, I had my first $1,000 weekend, the first $1,000 day from selling candles, which is extremely dope for me. I'm just a, small business. I've done candles maybe about 3 years, so to have my first $1,000 weekend was extremely dope. Like I said, working in a night lounge, restaurant and lounge, nightlife. So you get a lot of people who are drinking, and when people drink, they just, here you go, spend money. So that was super amazing that I was able to do that. And at my job, I didn't have to, at that time, go to these different pop-ups like I usually would do. I could just set up at work, which is what I did, and I was able to sell there. So, that's the biggest highlight, being able to do those 3-4 pop-ups, being able to still make a lot of money. A lot of my, employees, people that work with me and work for me, they were my biggest supporters this past year. So, that was something that's amazing to see, to be able to create supporters and friends, from working with somebody, and I think that's dope, as a side note, anybody who's doing anything creative, I think just having your community where you work, where you shop, where you, commune, where you hang out with people, having those people support the things that you do, I think sometimes that's far more lucrative than, trying to get on the internet and sell and different things like that. But those are the biggest highlights, making that $1,000, being able to do those pop-ups, and then being able to create the meaningful relationships that I have from that, So now, what's next? So pretty much what's next for me is, I'm still looking for what's next. I'm not sure about what's next, but what's now is I'm here with you guys. My goal is just to, try to keep creating content, creating videos, putting them out. Something simple as this, and just being able to post it for you guys to see and follow my journey. And when I cut my losses, I was like, I'm gonna take a couple months off. I know that's hard for a lot of people to do, but I had a little nest egg, maybe not a lot, but a little nest egg for me to just kind of take some time to just kind of focus on myself and recalibrate for what's next. So that's what I'm doing now. That's what I'm doing next. I hope you guys are here to follow the journey and enjoy with me. Thank you for being patient. I know it's been a year. A year is a mighty long time. And I bet you wondering where I've been. But here I've been and here I am. So once again, it's Ahmad, your boy, As I Am Chemical, CEO, founder, all that. And, this is where we at. Yeah. Till next time. Peace.